What's up, everyone? How are you all? It is your boy Fatboy Sly back here for some more football chat, predictions, whatever you want to call it. I'm here to sort of give my thoughts and on the Premier League season coming up. So, what I'll be doing is, like I said in my sort of intro of this sort of long talk about the whole football season coming with the Premier League starting this weekend. The 21-22 season. Do excuse me. So what I'll be doing is sort of giving me my thoughts and comments. Obviously, like I said in the intro, of like who will win the Premier League, who will get relegated, top four, top six, who my surprise will be of the season, goal scorers, who I think top goal scorer, who I think be probably the biggest disappointment, who I think probably be the player of the season, young player of the season, and go from there. So what I'm going to do is in this first video, I'm going to sort of do 6 teams to start off with, and I'm going to do them alphabetical order and where I think they will come, and obviously the key players, obviously for me, and where I think they potentially could finish. So straight into it. Let's get straight into it, shall we? We have our first team, Arsenal. So my thoughts on Arsenal in general. Obviously, they've not had the best of sort of last couple of seasons. Obviously, we've not been in Europe for the first time in, I think it's 25, 26 years. Somebody will probably quote me on that. So not 100% sure on that. But like I say, for me, the key players this year is pretty much the players you'd probably think what will be, which is for me is Patrick Aubameyang. Obviously, very very key. He gets his shooting boots on again. Because not too sure where they're going to get the goals from. Otherwise, Lacazette not really sort of providing any goals as much as well. He doesn't seem, since he came in, how long ago it was now, he's not really sort of improved Arsenal. But to be fair, Arsenal have had other issues with their defence and stuff and that lot, and which they sort of seem to have stabilised a bit because they had a sort of half decent season last year defensively, but just not enough goals. So so also Saka as well, obviously. So I think big season for him. I rate him very very highly as a Leicester City fan. I think he's a fantastic talent, a great player, very young still, and a lot of years ahead of him, and just a wonderful sort of player on his day to watch. Also, a player doesn't really get enough mentions. Obviously, sort of more come on the scene this last season. Smith Rowe, obviously. I think he's another very good up and coming young talent. I'd love him at Leicester, but we're just sort of not being. I wouldn't say we're blessed with midfielders. We've sort of got too many midfielders as it is at the moment. So So if Arsenal can sort of, like I say, keep up the defensive work, and sort of keep up that good work, and then hopefully they'll have a decent season. As for where I think they'll finish, I think they'll get top six this year. I think because with no European they've got no European football this year, no Champions League or Europa. I think that sort of gives them a bit of breathing space and to sort of concentrate and try and get the highest they can in the league. Do I think they can get top four? No, because I think there's better teams. Do I think they can get top six? Potentially, yes. And I have actually got them down for 6th place. So looking forward to see what they do, I must admit. I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of friends who are sort of Arsenal supporters, and obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. So, let's get into it next alphabetically is Aston Villa. So, obviously, probably the biggest key point, obviously, with Jack Grealish leaving, can they sort of survive without him? I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think they'll do sort of okay. They're not going to be far off where they probably finished, I think, last year. Obviously, the key players for me, I mean, there's probably other players that I've not mentioned, so apologies to Aston Villa fans who watch my videos. So, for me, the 2 key players, obviously, Ollie Watkins is proven to be, he's not so much a goal scorer, but he's just very generally good all round, really. I was just surprised he didn't get a call up to the Euros, but then again, I think there's a shout for quite a lot of players out there. But to get in the England squad, also their recent signing of Danny Ings, I think that's a good acquisition from Southampton. I think that is a good signing. I'd be pretty honest, I would have had Danny Ings at Leicester City, my club who I support, because he was lacking that sort of striker. I don't know roughly how old Danny Ings is now, but he's still a good player. You feed him the ball, he's going to score. He's going to get you 15 goals a season. Probably not enough to sort of, push to probably the league top six. I think that's why, no disrespect to Aston Villa, I think that's why it's sort of gone to sort of like a just above mid-table sort of club side. So, but good acquisition anyway. So, I mean, Danny Ings, quality player. But like I say, age is just really a number, and obviously, Jamie Vardy, obviously, in his 30s, but he didn't have he had a sort of a good start to last season, but sort of drifted off towards the end. But anyway, it's not about Leicester, it's about the predictions and stuff. But anyway, so I've got them finishing in 9th place, I think, just above mid-table, and I think they'll probably would like to sort of try and push for higher, but I just think there's better teams that are better than Aston Villa, and I think they will sort of struggle a little bit, but I think in the end, I think they'll sort of do well. But it all depends on, obviously, the two boys up front, and Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins. And there we go. So, going on to the next team alphabetically, that is Brentford, the new sort of promoted side from the Championship to the Premiership. Promoted, they do it through the playoffs, didn't they? A very, very good side, talented squad, really. There's only really obviously one player, obviously, who was the standout player for them last year, Ivan Toney. Obviously, he was linked with going to my team. I don't want to keep talking about Leicester because it's not all about Leicester. He was linked to the club who I support for this season. Seems like he is staying at Brentford. It'll be a good experience for him in the Premiership. I think he's going to be the key player for Brentford, whether they stay up or not. But unfortunately, bad news for you, Brentford fans. I don't think you will stay up. I think you will struggle, and I think you will go down. I actually very harshly put you down as bottom, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to finish bottom, and I just think your boys won't do it. I think it's going to be tight down there, but I think the cream sort of rises to the top sort of thing, and I think, unfortunately, on this occasion, I think you're going to be sort of stuck at the bottom. But they are good to watch. I sort of seen a little bit of them sort of in the Championship last year. They play some very good, nice, decent football. But for Premiership, I think because it's just another level, I just don't think they can compete, and it's a shame really to say it. But at the end of the day, teams have got to get relegated, and I think Brentford will be one of them. So there is my thoughts on Brentford. So going into the next team alphabetically is Brighton. So obviously key players like Danny Welbeck and Basuma. There is another one as well. I can't think of his name, so apologies for that. Lamptey, I think that's his name. Very, very talented player, Lamptey. I'm sure it is. Yeah, Lamptey. I think I might get it wrong, folks. Somebody probably auto-correct me. So Brighton in general, sort of pretty sort of solid at the back. Obviously, they've lost Ben White, obviously, who's gone to Arsenal. It could be a bit of a struggle for them. I think it will be a bit of a struggle, but I think they will just avoid relegation again. I think, I can't think of the manager's name off the top of my head, but I can picture him in my head. He's sort of a half-decent manager. But I just don't think it's sort of going to be nip and tuck with them. I just think they're just going to do enough to finish above the 3 that I've got predicted. And I've actually got them to finish 17th. So going to the sort of next we've got 2 more sort of teams left. And then what I'll do is I'll do another video later on. So going to Burnley now. So sort of a lot of sort of players sort of talk about, obviously, at Burnley. Key players like, obviously, Chris Wood, Dwight McNeil, and obviously, I'm not going to say it again, a person who's been linked to my club, obviously, James Tarkowski, who, for me, was very unlucky not to go to the Euros, as but it is what it is. I don't think they're really going to pose any sort of threats. For me, the biggest key, I think, is Chris Wood. No disrespect to them. he's a massive, massive player for them because he does get the goals. And I think he's going to be the key of whether Burnley are going to get relegated or not. I think they will have enough to stay up. You know, Sean Dyche, I do rate him as a manager. Very, very good manager. Obviously, you know, he was linked with sort of other jobs in the past, including the team I support, obviously. Let's get it started to be a bit annoying now, isn't it? Keep bringing Leicester into it. But anyway, that's sort of my thoughts really on Burnley. There's not really much more to say on Burnley, no disrespect to them. I just think they're going to have a sort of just above relegation again. I think I've got them actually predicted down for 16th. I don't think really they'll sort of finish sort of too much more than that unless they get any more key signings before the end is nigh. So before the Premiership has started. So next on the list, and this will be the sort of the final sort of team I'll be talking about before I finish this part, and then like I said, I'll be back later on for some more. So Chelsea, yes, Chelsea. Now I've got them to sort of finish obviously very high obviously in the table. I did actually have them to finish. I think I had them finished to third last season because obviously when they got Timo Werner, I thought they're gonna have and Ziyech. I thought they got two good players there, I think they're going to do really well. I think in the end they did actually finish third in the end, so the predictions was right. So they obviously Liverpool finished third. I can't remember now. So apologies for people who sort of sort of don't understand sort of what I'm going on about. But anyway. So, what do I think here the key players are? I mean, you can talk literally about any of them. I mean, they've got superstars from not so much goalkeeper. I mean, Mendy, we saw, I think he got the second or third most clean sheets last year for in the Premiership. So, fair play to him. I think he will be the number one keeper for them. But the players I sort of want to talk about, obviously with the new addition of Lukaku coming back to Chelsea. A proven goal scorer everywhere he's gone, from Chelsea to Everton to Man U, obviously Man U to Inter Milan, great season there, and he's back to Chelsea where he sort of first started. So looking forward to see what he's doing. I know he's getting a little bit on now. He's still sort of in the prime. He's a lot of 28, I think he is, or something like that. And with the players around him that he's got, like Kyle Havertz, Mason Mount, even Werner to a certain extent, they've got some wonderful players, at Chelsea, and obviously, blessed with such a good. They've got such a good team squad wise, anyway. Also, Mason Mount, obviously, like I mentioned as well, I think he's just an unbelievable talent. What can you say about the guy? Just a great midfielder and a fantastic player. Timo Werner. Interesting season for him, I think. Disappointing, obviously, last year. He sort of couldn't really hit, excluding this. I mean, excuse me for what I'm about to say next, but sort of like couldn't hit a camel's arse with a banjo, so let's put it at that. He couldn't hit nothing, and so it's going to be an interesting season for him coming up this coming season, and So, where have I got for Chelsea to finish? I have actually got Chelsea to finish second. Yes, second this year. I think they will be the team closest to the team at the top. I think they will be there or thereabouts. I think they're too good of a side not to. Their defence is sort of quite solid. Still a little bit leaky. I think they need somebody in. And they've got Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and obviously they've got I think Kurt Zuma's gone out on loan, I think, or he's been linked with somebody. I'm not sure. And obviously it's sort of still a bit dodgy at the back with Alonso and Aspilicueta, but it is what it is anyway. So, like I said, I have got them finishing second. So, good luck to Chelsea this year, and I think they'll have a good run again. Obviously, with the Champions League, obviously champions, defending champions, and obviously FA Cup, they always tend to sort of do half decent in the FA Cup. They always get quarter to finals at least pretty much every year. And like I say, looking forward to seeing what they can do. So that is it, folks, for this video, and thanks for listening to me, and thanks for always putting up with me. And that is sort of like my first part of the Premier League predictions. I have so many other teams to get through as well, so do bear with me on that. And like I said, I'll be looking forward to hearing your comments and thoughts of the upcoming Premier League season. And I will be bringing you some more videos a little bit later on where I think other teams will come, like I said. And I shall speak to you then. So this is it for now for part 1. And I shall speak to you later on. So as always, people, you all take care and stay safe. And I shall be returned for part 2 of the Premier League predictions coming up soon. So take care, stay safe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye, everyone.